and then you start typing as soon as I'm ready to start. You know what? Hey guys, I need a new co-host. Just let me know if you're available. All right. Coming up on ECG, the end of an era for kids and toys.
Sea of Thieves selling in the comics.
That first one really sounded pretty dour. Disney may finally be rewarding Favreau.
Nintendo's smashing announcements.
Smashing. All I can see is the Thornberries. All right, all this and more coming up on the East Coast Geek Podcast. Welcome to episode 126 of the East Coast Geek Podcast for Friday, March 16th, 2018, where we bring you all the latest news on comics, movies, and gaming. I'm your host, Jeremy, and with me, as always, is Opu. How you doing, buddy? And Opu's beard.
And my beard. Yes, I'm doing okay.
Are you?
It's cold. It's cold and windy, and
yeah, that needs to stop.
Snowing.
Yeah, it needs to stop.
It'd be okay if it snowed, though. Why not? The wind needs to stop. Everything else will be fine.
You know what? I don't live in Michigan anymore, so I don't prescribe to the cold, ice cold, snowing weather all the time. So I was happy when we had the Indian summers the last few years. So otherwise, we've been busy, and we didn't have a show last week because we were slave to the public beta testing schedule of Sea of Thieves, which we streamed on the show channel anyways, so it's fine.
Everything's fine here. It totally made up for it, right, guys? For us ignoring you.
Right. Yeah, I'm answering for them because they're not here.
Okay.
Or well, they're not answering yet. They're here. People are here. But anyways, yeah. So we did a lot of that last weekend, and plan to do a lot more in the future because it's full releases on Tuesday, so that's exciting. And I've also been...
and it's ready for preload, by the way, everybody.
Yeah, which is really weird to hear come out of Opu's mouth because he doesn't pre-order stuff, except when his wife absolutely.
I pre-order a ton of stuff. I don't know.
Aren't you the one that always says don't pre-order? Stop pre-ordering.
if I say pre-order, if you know it's going to be from a quality company, or it's been a quality series so far, if
Wait a minute.
Got the trust.
You're putting the words quality and Microsoft together. You realize that, right?
Microsoft has released some good stuff.
I guess, especially when they buy up a bunch of studios and make them do the work.
Well, now it's like they slowly have figured out that, hey, if we let the creators create, they might make something that's fun. We don't have to put them to a focus group, and then you get crap like Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts or the Kinetic Sports Animals crap or whatever they were making.
Connect. Why do you always mess that up?
Because I don't respect it. It doesn't exist anymore. It's gone the way of the Virtual Boy.
Oh, listen, the Virtual Boy was fine. People just don't remember it fondly enough. I sent some doubt. So that's out. I've been slowly releasing every day about a half hour of my playthrough of Zelda. By this rate, I should finish it sometime next year. But every half hour or every day a half hour is coming out. So make sure you check that out on the YouTube page as well.
Let me tell you guys, I'm not one to just toot somebody's horn because I like them or anything, but him playing through Eventide Isle or whatever it's called has been the best thing to watch.
So I was going through the videos yesterday, and that's on one of the last few before I have to do some more. I think it's like 17 or 18 or 19. So that'll be coming up sometime next week. But yeah, it gets pretty rough, and even worse later on. There's some other ones where I get pretty upset, and I've been thinking about not putting them in there, but I think it'd be fun for me to be throwing a tantrum on there because that island is garbage.
And the thing is,
listen,
it's not my favorite.
Listen, I'm gonna finish that game to 100% completion, 119 shrines, because I'm not doing Eventide Island.
You know how everybody does 100% complete runs. I'm doing 99% complete runs.
I mean, that makes sense, right? It's perfect.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. I'll come over to your house and play it for you and beat it for you.
I'll get it eventually. Maybe when I got more hearts. There you go. Maybe. Yeah. So, other than that, I have one nugget of hard truths to drop that I said I would drop earlier, talking to Mitch offline. I'm here to weigh in on the best space opera of our time, and the answer might surprise you. It's
that sounds clickbaity.
It is clickbaity. It's Battlestar Galactica. I have to say it. I have now watched Battlestar Galactica in its entirety ever since I found out about it after starting work here, probably at least once a year for the past 10 years. And I have to say, it is pretty incredible. It is something.
I need to get it on DVD or something. Or
I need to get it on Blu-ray. The Blu-ray collection is usually nice and reasonable price on Amazon. I think I have the Razor and the Plan double movie feature that was separate from the series on Blu-ray already, so I would actually be really interested to see the behind-the-scenes stuff and the stuff with Ronald Moore and stuff like that. And for those of you that don't know, Ronald Moore, who I guess produced, I guess that's the word for it, wrote and produced, was a normal, a standard writer for, what are you waving at?
I'm waving at my daughter. She's watching this upstairs.
Oh, okay. You derailed my thoughts. Holy crap. Ronald Moore, who did a lot of writing for, I think it was Next Generation, as well as other Star Trek episodes, series. It's pretty inspirational at times. I think the reason why I like it, though, is it's more military involved type thing. And, it's the last of humanity. I feel like they cover a lot of topics that, even to this point, we'd find kind of... What's that word I want to call it? Basically, they have their political ties. Mm-hmm. Those politically fueled subjects. Like abortion and... like religious traditions and stuff like that.
I forget the shorthand, like you say, in the political discussions or whatever, or the heated topics or whatever.
Yeah.
But they have like their equivalent to the very special episodes or whatever.
Yeah.
But without being as cheesy and malicious as after school specials normally are.
So something's changed, and I think it's me. I don't think it's anybody else but me. The first couple of times I watched it, I felt like there was quite a few filler episodes that took a long time to get through. But I don't know if it was because I was distracted during some of them, because I was playing games while I was watching some of them, because I've watched it so many times anyways, sometimes twice a year, if not just the once. And I felt less like there was filler and more like there was a lot more to some of those episodes that I kind of missed before. So, otherwise, like I said, it sparks something in me. It's very good show. I really like it. So, but I feel like it delves a lot into humanity more than, say, Star Wars would, or Star Trek even.
Well, Star Wars doesn't really deal with humanity in general. It's more of the prequels and the original trilogy, not so much this one. It's more of a space epic than a space opera to me. I know they classify it as a space opera, but space operas deal with more of the human condition, or operas in general, I guess.
Yeah, but that's what that's all about, though.
It's more like
because you have the racism even against machines, and it's so rampant, and it's weird because you see the main characters have a little more leniency in how they feel about the Cylons compared to what the normal people do.
I'm sorry. I'm talking about Star Wars compared to like Battlestar Galactica.
Okay.
Which is more about the characters developing. So I don't, they're both science fiction, but I don't consider Star Wars more of a. People classify it as a space opera. I don't think it deserves that. Not that that's a bad thing. That it's not a classified. It's more of a space epic, though. With the new trilogy, it happens basically over a weekend, so kind of hard to be considered an epic adventure when it's like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. This one, like this, because it's more self-contained, I guess. Galactica has to, and because they have, for lack of a better term, filler episodes. Probably their lower budget episodes where they can't do any epic fights or battles. And you got to remember, I haven't watched all of Galactica.
There's some pretty good space battles. The other thing that really speaks to me is that they do space flight on point. They're able to flip their ships around immediately and change directions, which is something that pretty much no others do. Star Wars especially, they always have to do those big flights as if they're, those big loops to turn around as if they're still in an atmosphere. Whereas in Battlestar Galactica, they pop some rear jets on the bottom and they flip around and they're facing the other way already, and they throttle up and they're going. That's the way it's supposed to be.
Well, I mean, we're not going to use Star Wars as like hard science.
No, I know. But even
in Star Wars defense, they were modeled after World War II dogfights.
Yeah, they were.
That's why they work like that, as opposed to Galactica, which does manipulate or take advantage of the, again, for lack of a better term, the terrain they're in, which is no terrain.
Yeah. And the last.
How you doing, thermostat?
The Monster 200 there, by the way. My co-host can't read. It's okay. He's not. You're not. Your name's not the only one that'll be butchered tonight. The last thing is the music is on point. Bear McCreary knows what he's doing with music. He's proved that time and again. That's one of his biggest feats is that show and what he's done with The Walking Dead. Their soundtracks are amazing.
So I got a question for you.
Okay.
Battlestar Galactica is, within the science fiction fandom, the general, somebody that likes all science fiction, a niche like Star Trek, Star Wars, blah, blah, blah. Why do you think that even though it's still popular there, it's not gotten the casual appeal that like Star Trek and Star Wars has got?
Because it was on Sci-Fi. Well, it started on NBC and then moved to Sci-Fi.
But here's the thing, the 2004 version is the second version. There was the 1978 one or whatever it was. Why do you think it hasn't gotten like another version that's come out?
They've already talked about the fact that they're probably going to do it again. Now, here's the thing with it, and I was thinking about it today because there was the original series back in the 70s with, what's his name? Crap. Well, freaking the guy that played Zarek in the new one and all that, and then dude what plays Face in the A-Team played Starbuck in that. I cannot remember his name for the life of me.
Let's see what we got. You talking about the actor?
Yeah. Dirk Benedict, I think. Right? Anyways, the whole tagline in the new one is it's happened before and it'll happen again. And it constantly is occurring over and over again. So the first time they did the series was the first time that it was ever done in a show. And then the second time, it's the second time. So it happened again. So if they do it again, it could just be it happens again. Because history continues to repeat itself over and over again. Earth is always just another planet where they settle and start life again. And that's how they ended the series on it in the newer one. So,
well, I mean, again, I don't want to keep bringing up, but Star Wars does that same thing. The Republic is always dying or dead or being reborn or struggling. The Jedi are on the verge of extinction, or the Sith are. I mean, we've seen it thousands of times. But this one sounds like it's more. There's a more of a reason for it.
So
I guess
so that's the interesting thing for it being a sci-fi show. They really drove religion hard in the newer series. They all and they did in the original too, but not as much. It took more of a center stage in the newer one, and it was really weird because all the humans believed in the 12 gods, which were of was Apollo and all that, and Sagittarius and stuff like that. What is that? Is that Greek or Roman? I can't remember. I think it's Greek, right?
Wait, which one?
Sagittarius. Yeah, it's Greek. It's Greek gods.
Yeah.
Okay,
Greek.
So they believe all of the 12 colonies all had a representation of one of the gods, okay? And they built robots who instilled the idea of a single god instead. The one true god. Mm-hmm. So the religious fanaticism is actually spurred from the machines instead of the people. And then, there's butting heads between those that believe in the gods and those that believe in the one true god. And they highlighted it more in Caprica, and I was sad to see that Blood and Chrome didn't go anywhere, but it was a really good, mini-series type thing that they did, too, as a prequel to the war, but which fell between the TV series Caprica and the Battlestar Galactica series. So I would be very happy if they redid it. I would like to see what they can do, incorporating some of the current events in the theme as well. So
that's one of the things that's been like in the 70s version, right? It had some there was criticisms that it was referencing the USSR talks, I think, during the 70s.
Yep.
So it's always been there.
Yeah.
Within BSG, as you like to call it. So you're saying that they might make another movie or TV show?
Yeah, Ronald Moore wants to do another show, wants to reboot it again, and I think it may be the point that he thinks he might be able to do it in a different space.
You know what? Here's the thing.
Especially with all the cable shows and Netflix and Hulu and stuff like that.
That's what I was about to say, is he needs to pitch that to Netflix or Hulu. Because one, Battlestar Galactica's already got it may be a small fan base, but they've got a fan base already established. They don't have to start with nothing like Stranger Things, for example.
Right.
So you could start with a smaller budget,
and
something,
yeah,
and build up on it. Because again, it's more about the interactions and the beliefs and all that, as opposed to just the cool battles. Like with lightsabers or spaceships, even though they have those,
right.
But it's more about the human condition, so to speak.
Yeah.
If you want to be all hoity-toity like that. But all right. I really think they should pitch it something like that. But
yeah, I hope so soon. We'll go ahead and move on and maybe bring that up another time, since we're a good ways into time here already. Toys R Us is closing. That is a sad. Yes. A sad destruction of my childhood.
I remember going there with, I might be merging like two kid memories, but I think I remember going to see, remember Flipper when it came out and as a movie? It's one of the few movies I saw in theaters. My grandma took me and a couple of my cousins, I think. And afterwards, we did go to Toys R Us. I remember buying the Z-Bots. Some Z-Bots. Like she got us each like a toy or whatever. Or I had like birthday money left over.
Well, that's
why I didn't get it.
And that's the thing, though. All of us kids at this age and younger all have that. Even my kids. That's going to be a hard thing for them to take, because they loved going to Toys R Us, and we'd always get them something, and my parents always got us something and stuff like that. And now it's going to be gone. It's really sad, but there should be some good sales, so maybe we'll get some good pop figure sales. No.
Yeah, but that's true. I'm kind of hoping on that. I might swing by Toys R Us this weekend, but it's I mean, the market's changed. A lot of toys are digital now, and unfortunately, Toys R Us they got bought out. Blah 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 blah. They kind of just gutted the company,
right?
They let it dry, but they didn't necessarily adapt. They didn't have an aggressive online marketing.
Yeah,
and the problem is, out of all the companies out there, Toys R Us I think would have had the easiest time, like doing the meme PR, how kind of like Wendy's does with Twitter, or has been doing with Twitter, or how even Sega with Sonic the Hedgehog, how he acts on Twitter, or whoever's running the Twitter does.
Right.
I mean, everybody knows the Toys R Us jingle. That's our age, and a little bit younger. They could have easily have incorporated that to keep like the momentum going. I think they had an easy in into the digital age, the information age, whatever. Right now, basically the meme age,
right?
And they just didn't exploit it like they needed to. And it would have been. Here's the thing: they would have had to do one, and it would just went out of control from there, and they wouldn't have had to lift another finger.
Right.
Hardly.
Yeah.
It's not like you have to make these $1,000, $100, $1 million commercials. You make a funny picture online and post it on Twitter and watch it spread itself.
I mean, and that's exactly what Arby's is doing. Their social media is just they're doing something really quick and they're putting it out, and it's like
they have one person doing like drawings with ketchup and stuff and sauce, and they like find out, okay, well, what's trending right now with video games or comic books or whatever, and they're like, oh, let's make a little cardboard cutout or make it into our curly fries.
Yeah. Yep.
It's absolutely brilliant, and it's simple.
And people love it. I see those get shared by more of my friends than anything else.
How often do I share them? I share almost every day.
Yeah.
Every time I see one, I share it.
They always put something great out. Like that one that you tagged me in that had the Monster Hunter stuff on it. That was great.
Oh, yeah. That was great.
Or even when they don't even drop a hint and they said, you should know what this is. And
you know what
do or
this
you
is.
Don't
even have to make a reference.
Right. All right, well, let's go ahead and move into the news here. We got a little bit of comic news, which is, once again, related to our gaming obsessions. You want to go ahead and do that, and I'll pop this picture up here.
Sure thing. Sea of Thieves comic series is being released. The comic series follows two rival crews caught up in a race for legendary treasure. The ever-growing Sea of Thieves universe is expanding once more, providing an ocean-bound opus that offers a greater insight into the game's world and the dangers that await. This time around, it's a tale destined to be told via a gorgeous multi-part series in collaboration with our pencil-plundering pals at Titan Comics. Each issue will chronicle the misadventures of two crews, captained by a brother and a sister whose intense sibling rivalry has been stoked by the promise of a legendary treasure waiting for them somewhere on the Sea of Thieves. Along the way, they'll deal with undead hordes, devious traps, and their own bitter histories, but which crew will ultimately emerge victorious to claim the loot.
Isn't that neat, too? They took the idea of pitting a brother against a sister, make it a little family thing, too, a little family rivalry, something that the kids can get behind, because my kids, they argue all the time. They think they're the worst enemies of each other, and it's like, you guys don't even know. It's a good run with it, and the art looks great. This is just one of the covers that they had. I like the one that is all black with the gold encrusted skull, the Sea of Thieves logo. That skull there with the sails in the eyes and stuff. That's really neat. The art looks great. I'm excited to see what this thing does. I'd be more than happy to empty out one of these comic book frames and throw that in there. Especially with what Sea of Thieves is going to do for us here, with us streaming it all the time.
Oh, absolutely. So, I mean, it's a pretty simple thing to do. A brother-sister rivalry type thing. It's an easy story to tell. It's easy to wrap your head around. And obviously, there has to be treasure involved because this is pirates. I'm going to be interested in it. And it comes out. Oh, it might be coming out hopefully this month or next month. I don't have the date in front of me. Let's see. Maybe it's already out. Let's find out.
Oh, you're gonna highlight it and get it. It's and like I said, the art that I've seen on the page, it looks really good. It's really neat. I can't wait. It's bad enough we have a family causing havoc throughout the galaxy. Now we have another family causing trouble out on the seas. Yeah, definitely. Their names are.
Here's some of the characters right here. It's Lasidi, Singe, Seamark, and Navid. DeMarco Singe, so he's the brother. And then Lasidi is the sister. There's Ren Arari, Ren, yeah, and Melee Silvertongue.
Great.
Yeah, so the art does look pretty good. It kind of already fits the art style of them. So if you go to the Sea of Thieves website, you can find the comic. There is a comic link under there. and you will actually be able to read some of their mini bios and see their character designs, everything. When does this come out?
Doesn't have a date. I wouldn't
It
imagine.
just says early 2018, so probably within this month or the next month.
Yeah, I would say March or April would probably be the ideal. Do you know who Roald Marsilius is? It says he did the Incredible Hulk and Warren Ellis's Super God. And then the story's penned by Jeremy Whitley, who did.
I would know his art if I saw it, probably.
Oh, okay.
Jeremy Whitley, Thor versus Hulk. Maybe is that the animated Thor versus Hulk, because that was pretty good.
Oh, okay.
If you remember, did you watch that?
No.
Oh, you got to. It's good. Hulk versus Wolverine is better because it's more gory, really, but it's absolutely great. So what happens in Thor versus Hulk in the animated movie is that Loki gets a hold of Bruce Banner and basically turns him into a puppet for him so he can use the Hulk to go defeat Thor and everybody else.
Great.
While Odin is asleep. He's got the 7 days of Odin sleep, which was referenced in the first Thor movie. However, because he's the Hulk, he gets away from him. And because he had been fighting for so long, and he split Hulk from Bruce Banner, he's just a literal rage machine. And you just see armies upon armies just trying to slow the Hulk down. Later on in the movie, Loki even has to send the remnants of his army to try to stop him. And obviously it doesn't work because he's the Hulk.
Yeah, of course.
But it's such a great movie.
Well, and I mean,
I highly recommend it.
Yeah, and like you said, the art style lends itself to exactly what we're going to get in the game too, which is a very good choice, honestly, that they made to make it look the way they did, because it appeals to a wider variety of people. And even though people are complaining, and I've seen the complaints already, it's like, I can't wait to see all these people who love the way that Sea of Thieves looks, but all they do is complain about the cartooniness of Fortnite. It's like, I'm not complaining about the cartooniness of Fortnite. I'm complaining about the system.
I'm complaining that they hate their paying customers and just focus on Battle Royale.
Yeah.
That's why I hate Fortnite. That's why I haven't popped it open in weeks.
Weeks? It's probably been longer than that for me.
Oh.
But I have
probably longer, but 10 weeks is still technically weeks, right?
Right. Something like that. All right, anything else on that? I think that's all we got on that right now.
That's all we got right now.
Once we get a date,
we'll
put that out, yeah. And we'll give you a heads up on it. All right, well, let's go ahead and hit into the movies here with Perry's favorite song. A little quieter. Terrible. So, Shazam photos got leaked, huh?
Yeah, well, last week, so they started leaking, and then more and more have come out. And while there's been kind of mixed opinions online, I personally love them. I think that this is the most loyal costume we've seen from the DC EU yet, except for maybe short of Wonder Woman's.
I thought they already had a Superman, though.
Okay, there we go, boys and girls. Okay.
Tell me again how DC's actually good. I'm ready for a tale.
Captain Marvel. Oh, well, wait. Now you got me off. I was going to make this joke. Hey, guess what, everybody? 2 Captain Marvel movies are being made at the same time.
Good.
You see, there's the female Captain Marvel, even though he was originally a male, but blah with Marvel, and DC had the rights to the name Captain Marvel, but the comic was called Shazam. But somehow, eventually, Marvel got the entirety rights, and then DC quit wanting to fight it, so now they're just calling him Shazam in the comic as well.
Shazam.
Shazam is the word they uses to power up and depower as needed. Also, he is not a clone of Superman or anything like that. He is a 10, 11, 12-year-old boy who gets the powers of the great wizard Shazam. Shazam stands for Solomon's wisdom, Hercules' strength, Atlas's stamina, Zeus's power, Achilles' courage, and Mercury's speed. So when he uses it, he's basically incredibly strong and incredibly fast and durable. Blah, blah, blah. He rarely uses he's got some other powers.
Would you say he's a god?
Pretty close to it.
Isn't that what Superman is?
No, Superman is
pretty close to a god. Pretty sure he's pretty close to a god. He's faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap buildings in a single bound.
Superman's got 10,000 powers. This guy only has like 5.
Okay.
But they're really good powers.
But they manifest themselves in certain ways. You know, he can't be shot because he's bulletproof. Stop me when he starts doing lasers out of his eyes. You see what I'm getting at here.
He can summon lightning bolts.
Of course he can, because of Zeus, right?
Yeah. Right. So what he does is, when he fights Superman, because he's magically powered, and Superman has no.
Wait! Stop me when both their moms' names are Martha. I can't wait to see this movie. So, anyways, Zachary Levi looks all right, I guess. Does he actually look like the character or no?
Yeah, he does look pretty good. Pretty accurate to the character.
Suit looks kind of chunky. Look like,
yeah. Well, what they're doing with him, it looks like they're doing like the classic strongman look, where somebody wasn't like absolutely chiseled, but they were like bulky and
right.
And that kind of held us back to his original design. From my perspective, which of course most super strong characters back in the day were designed like that, because that was the
physique.
That was what strong looked like. Yeah, that was the physique of the time. So
then they made Superman run around in jeans and a t-shirt.
Among other things, there was the black outfit, and there was the mullet he had. Then there was the time he became Red Lightning and Blue Lightning.
Superman, business in the front, party in the back.
The reason they did that is because that's when Lois and Clark, the New Adventures of Superman, was coming out. Well, all the photos of Dean Cain at the time was with the mullet. So the artists were like, "Oh, well, he's playing Superman. He's going to have a mullet in the show." And so they started drawing him with a mullet, but then Dean Cain cut his hair into the classic Superman look, and they're like, "Oh, oops."
Great. Wonderful. So you said it's pretty faithful to the costume.
I think so.
Would you say 1-to-1, or would you say they took a couple of liberties here and there?
Well, it seems like they're leaning a lot towards the New 52 reboot with the hood. He had a hood, so I would say that's probably like, just from the limited shots we've seen, is about 90% accurate, which isn't bad. I mean, it really captures the spirit of the character itself, too, because the costume looks fairly bright.
Right.
I mean, again, this is supposed to be more of a... Even with the rest of the universe of DC Dark, this was one of the problems with the rebooted Shazam in 52, is the kid was kind of a jerk, is Billy Bastion's always supposed to be sweet and innocent.
Right.
Even compared to the big blue Boy Scout Superman, because he's supposed to be a kind-hearted kid.
Right.
And he's just... So, yeah, so...
Hey, I got a question. Since we're talking about costumes, sorry to derail you, but...
That's fine.
You know, we were talking... We talked about it before, and I think we did. I think we covered it. We were talking about Captain Marvel and her outfit.
Uh-huh.
And how it was all green in the pictures. Did we discuss that or not? And the fact that it's probably just green because they're doing effects to it instead?
Right, so... I think we kind of discussed that, and also... The other thing is that it looks a lot like the Kree colors. Now, Kree are aliens in the Marvel Universe, which I think we've met some of them already.
They were. There was one in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't frickin' Ronan a Kree?
Oh, yes. So Ronan the Accuser is.
So we saw him.
Yeah, so we've seen what
doesn't
Kree
count.
like.
She's just blue. She's just a blue robot, right?
Well, she's a cyborg.
Cyborg, whatever. Is she a
and she's an alien cyborg. I don't know what I don't remember what race she is off the top of the head.
So we've seen some, but we haven't really seen any traditional outfits. Ronan's was pretty extravagant.
Ronan's was pretty in line, I guess.
Really? It wasn't green. It was purple.
Well, that's because he's he's part of the
axis of
judiciary
evil
system. No, he's not evil in the comics. Really, he's closer to neutral because he's supposed to be a judge.
Oh, okay.
Of sorts, but he just whenever he decides somebody's guilty or he accuses them, whatever, he usually takes that massive hammer he has and turns them into powder.
Oh, okay.
So they kind of ramped up his evilness in Guardians of the Galaxy.
And I haven't kept up with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm probably about 3 seasons behind now. So I don't know if there's any more Kree in there. Mm-hmm. I would imagine at a certain point there would be, but the one that they had was just a blue dude in a like a hyperbaric chamber or something like that.
Yeah, I thought it was just his corpse or something.
Yeah, something like that. So there wasn't. We haven't really seen too much of the whole Kree thing in the MCU. Mm-hmm. But I'm willing to bet we'll probably see some more soon.
Well, yeah, I mean they're going to have to because so in the comics there was a male Captain Marvel who was an alien, a Kree alien. Wait, which one do you want me to discuss before I get on a tangent? I'm trying to stop.
No, you need to do the one. Well,
DC's
you know what?
Shazam?
No. Oh yeah. Just go back to DC's Shazam. We could talk about.
Okay,
Captain
so
Marvel
anyways, so we got the. So I'm trying to switch gears here.
He's a wizard. Got it.
Shazam. No, the wizard Shazam, and then the kid uses basically his name to power up.
Okay.
So
does he say Shazam?
Yes. And what he has to say?
Wasn't that a movie with Shaq?
No, that's Kazam.
Does that never existed? Is that one of
those?
No,
that's the Sinbad one that never existed.
Oh, the Mandela effect exists of the Shazam movie that had Sinbad. Okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember. It's like I forgot that it didn't exist.
Shaq played Kazam, who came out of a beatbox.
It gets ridiculous every time I hear it.
And I'm trying to say it so seriously. Like, come on, guys. This is serious business. Keep your Zams apart.
All right.
And then there's Big Zam, who's a giant Gundam.
Oh, God. All right. You lost me at anime.
Gundam's good.
Okay.
Gundam is...
I'll take your word for it.
Enjoy Gundam. You need to watch Gundam.
I mean, I liked the stuff that was in Appleseed. Those were Gundams, right? Technically.
No, they weren't Gundams.
They weren't Gundams.
Appleseed is Appleseed.
No, but those were like Gundams. They were robots that the people jumped into and flew around in. Isn't that what a Gundam is?
No.
A warrior suit?
But yes. They're mech suits. They're giant mech suits, yes.
Yeah, well, these were
but it's still not the same thing. But were they made with Gundanium, though?
Oh,
they weren't made with Gundanium.
All right. Let's get back to Shazam. We need to move on soon.
What do we need? What else do we need? I think the costume's going to look good when they put some special effects like his Shazam lightning around them. It's going to be really cool. Oh, I can't wait to see.
Is it like a Speed Force?
Hopefully they don't want blue like those idiots in Justice League. Why is the Speed Force
He'll get the yellow one. He'll get the yellow one. He'll get the yellow one.
Yellow in the comics. My goodness, such a minor thing to get wrong, and for such a minor thing to make me angry. But it's just because they took so many liberties with these DC characters. It's just like one more thing that you could get wrong. Yeah. And that guy's got a stupid face.
He'll get a yellow. He'll get the yellow.
Got it.
They'll waste it. Then they'll reboot it in 2 years' time.
Yep.
All right.
Flashpoint reboot the universe will be done.
Perfect. Well, like we discussed before. All right. Yes. Failing retreading that, let's go on to the next thing. Saw the trailer for Christopher Robin, and we need to put one more thing in here before we finish this. Okay. So the trailer for Christopher Robin, and totally unexpected. I figured watching the trailer, I was like, oh, the little kid's Christopher Robin, right? And they're like, oh, and they call Christopher Robin Ewan McGregor, and I was like, oh, well, this is interesting. And now he's talking to a stuffed bear in a park.
Yeah, so this was not what I was expecting when they said they were announcing the Christopher Robin movie. I was like, oh, what they're going to do is like that Finding Neverland movie or whatever, where he was inspired to write the book.
Right.
I thought that was what it was going to be, is that the father, it was going to be about the kid in real life, and the father being inspired by the stories the kid tells him about his stuffed animals or something like that.
Right.
Or like kind of a pseudo-documentary on that kid's life. That's what I thought it was going to be.
And then they did... go ahead.
They did Hook.
Yeah. Well,
this is Hook, basically.
And yeah, I was gonna say, and they basically have the same type of thing too, because he starts doing the thing with his face and saying that he looks basically the same as he used to, and the same he always has, which is cute. That's a nice callback, you know. But
Yeah.
yet another. It's kind of it's now. I think now that we have two instances of it, we can call it a trope. Is it at least two instances?
Oh, well, no, there's
I know there probably is a trope, but this is like a hardcore Disney trope at this point.
Yeah, well, there's like one. There's one that's is called something like "No Doubt the Years Have Changed Me."
Yeah.
Where like you haven't seen somebody in years and you could still like recognize them, but they look older.
Yeah, you look the same as you always do.
Yeah, and So I think you got something there. Here's my thing: is I'm gonna have to say this because Winnie Pooh is one of those, not necessarily guilty pleasures, but one of those
fond childhood memories.
Kind of like a fond childhood memory for me that I'm going to have to let any flaws I see, and you guys know I like to point out flaws because it makes me feel better about my own horrible self. Because Winnie the Pooh is just like one of those pure innocent things to me that it can never be anything, even though people do those dark memes or whatever, you know, with like Pooh's eating Piglet or stuff. I was like, no, it's Winnie the Pooh. It's so pure and innocent and sweet. I love it. Like the New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. After seeing that trailer, I went on Google and I was like, where can I legitimately buy this on DVD to show my daughter? Because I absolutely love the New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. I got to buy I'm about to pull up Google or Amazon right now. I've got to buy the old DVDs of Winnie the Pooh. The one where like they have the words. Oh, I love that. Like the animation where like the words pop up.
Right.
Which one? Are you the classic one or the New Adventures one? Winnie the Pooh.
I'm a fan of the classic, and the kids grew up on the classic, and then when I was growing up, I'd watch some of the New Adventures stuff, but also, do you remember the live action Winnie the Pooh that they did on the Disney Channel along with the live action Dumbo?
I remember Operation Dumbo dropped.
No, there was a live action.
I don't remember the live action.
There was a live action Winnie the Pooh. It was people in costumes, like Barney style costumes.
No, I don't.
There was a Winnie the Pooh one, and there was also a Dumbo one, Dumbo Circus or something like that.
Oh wait, now that you mentioned Dumbo Circus, I do remember that very vaguely.
It is actually called Dumbo Circus. This playing... No, this won't play through the headset. No, I won't play it anyways, because it'll probably get flagged for copyright. But anyways, aired in 1984. So I grew up with that stuff. There was 115 episodes, and the Disney Channel was a thing, you know. While you're looking up your videos for your daughter, one of the things that I wanted to bring up, too, that we didn't have, that dropped the same day that this Winnie the Pooh trailer did, was the Netflix series Lost in Space trailer.
Which I didn't see the trailer, so I kind of pulled it.
Okay, well then we'll
let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
It's going to be an interesting take, and I think a very adult-themed take. And I was like, I'm sitting there watching this, and I'm trying to figure out what the heck it is. And then the damn robot says, "Danger, Will Robinson." I was like, oh my god, this is going to be amazing to be a freaking series instead of being the last iteration that I grew up with is the movie, which wasn't bad because, William Hurt's not a bad actor. And that also had, what's-his-face, who just won an Oscar finally, right? Space movie. Gary Oldman. I think he played the crazy kooky doctor, yeah. Yeah, William Hurt.
It also had what's-his-face.
William Hurt, Matt LeBlanc, and Gary Oldman.
Yeah, there you go. Matt LeBlanc was the pilot that hit on the daughter.
Yeah, Mimi Rogers, Heather Graham, Lacey Chabert before she did Family Guy for, a season and a half. Jack Johnson, Gary Oldman, Jared Harris, and Lenny James. Oh, man, I love Lenny James. He's great. For those of you that don't know, that's Morgan on The Walking Dead and Lord Shax and Destiny.
This robot looks like one of the Geth from...
Oh, yeah, that's what it was. I was trying to remember what what the heck it looks
It's
like.
a freaking...
Yeah, it's got the weird head, yeah.
What if this Lost in Space is a prequel to Mass Effect?
What?
A Mass Effect show.
Where's my Commander Shepard? Which one did they go with? Female or male Commander Shepard? What am I saying? It's 2018. Female ship. Fem ship.
Totally female. Totally female.
Totally fem ship. All right.
But it's going to be the Renegade version, so...
That's fine, though. I was okay with that. Especially the faces some of those Commander Shepards made when you said stupid things. All right, let's get on to the next thing. This is a very Disney centric.
Oh, wait, real quick. We didn't even mention that the Christopher Robin trailer has spawned my favorite meme of 2018 so far.
Yes, this is
when
the
he
best
turns
one.
around, when he turns around and it's like, "Hello there," and you see Winnie the Pooh's little face, and he goes, "General Kenobi," and he pops up 4 lightsabers. It's the best.
You shared
one.
that.
We've got it on our Facebook page.
Yeah, you put it on our Facebook page. That was hilarious.
Go find it if you haven't seen it. I love it.
Oh, it's so great. That is. Oh man, who doesn't love that meme? All right, so this is a very Disney-centric episode. The next episode, or the next story we have here is not a really good one.
I don't know. Yeah, so...
Oh, okay. This isn't really Disney-centric. Oh, you know what? Because of what we were talking about earlier, I just assumed that this was... I totally pulled the wrong picture for this. Because I pulled the Wrinkle in Time picture because I thought it was going to be a complaint session because there were some complaints about people's opinions about that movie. So I will pull up another picture of New Gods.
Okay, so I'll go ahead into it. So a Wrinkle in Time director, Ava DuVernay, is set to direct New Gods. DC Comics New Gods, I should say.
It's DuVernay, by the way. You got to pronounce that right.
Okay, so Ava DuVernay.
Oh my gosh.
DuVernay, whatever.
Okay, you can continue.
DeVille.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so guys. Ava DeVille. So she just released, or A Wrinkle in Time was just released, and it's not getting very good reviews. And she's kind of been lashing out online, so that's one of the things that kind of bothers me.
And that's why I thought that this was going to be a complaint session.
Yeah. I'm not complaining. So, to be fair, A Wrinkle in Time is a very, very difficult book to adapt to any other medium than what it's already in, which is a book.
Which is a book, yeah.
It's
kind of like do you remember Battlefield Earth? Way better book than that movie with John Travolta and Forrest Whitaker and Barry Pepper. Such a better book.
I was going to use Watchmen for an example because Watchmen's
about that. It's like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. It's right up there.
Oh yeah, okay, sure,
man,
sure. You just take that opinion and just tuck it away in your little pocket and let the adults with some taste and class read this article.
Okay, continue.
So Ava
DuVernay.
DuHost. She's known for historical dramas such as Selma. But this is her first sci-fi fantasy type of a movie, and it's not doing very well. They're talking. There's been many complaints on it. They're saying that although the visuals are pretty good, acting is weird. The plot is been gutted from the books. We discussed Battlestar Galactica's most recent version having a lot of religious themes in it. Well, A Wrinkle in Time, the books, especially because they were written in the 50s. And yes, there are several books that follow A Wrinkle in Time. It's just the most famous one. Delve heavily into religious beliefs because it is a story of light versus darkness. And she kind of removed that and made it more into a girl power book. Or a girl power story. So it kind of destroyed... Like the moment you start removing themes from a story, you start losing that story. And that's why... One of my complaints with characters, why I'm so strict about how my comic characters, my beloved comic characters, look on the screen is once you start taking away little things, you start taking away parts of the character themselves. For example, the Venom movies we've been bashing them about. You've basically changed its origin. you're taking a core part of that character, who it is.
Right.
And how much stuff can you remove before that's not the book anymore, or that's not that character, And
Right.
so it's...
Yeah, you remove a fundamental part of the story, which makes it the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, in her defense, this is a very complicated book to try to... It's been attempted before, and the last time, I think they tried to do it in like 2004 or 2001, and I don't know how well that went. I mean, it's... So...
Film adaptation.
And the reality...
2003, a television adaptation was made of the novel by a collaboration of Canadian production companies to be distributed in America by Disney. The movie was directed by John Kent Harrison with teleplay by Susan Shilliday. It cast Katie Stewart as Meg Murray, Alfred Woodard as Mrs. Whatsit, Allison Elliott as Mrs. Who, and Kate Nelligan as Mrs. Witch. When they asked somebody if it met her expectations, she said, "Yes, I expected it to be bad, and it is." Who's this? Lingel? Is that who wrote it? Yeah, Madeline so. Lingel. Yeah, when they asked her opinion, she expected it to be bad, and it was. So I guess we'll have to see what she thinks of, because if
I think she passed away.
Did she pass away? Oh.
She passed away just after that, I think.
Oh yeah, 2007. Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately. So you mix a complicated story like this. You mix it with somebody that maybe not experienced with science fiction type of storytelling, especially something as complicated as this would be, and you've got some really weird casting decisions. Not to mention kind of putting your own ego and on the themes you want to push forward before the story's themes. Then you've got a recipe for the disaster. And she's not taking the criticisms online very well, which kind of are destroyed within themselves when you have, because she keeps saying certain things.
Right.
Racism and gender, blah, 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 blah. Black Panther just got released with a diverse cast, and a very strong female lead in there as well. And people are just jumping on her. They love that character. So here's the thing with this criticism. No matter what, nobody's going to just. Everybody's going to hate something.
Yeah.
It's going to suck. And I can't take criticism. No, I had one. I was writing for a anthology book. I had somebody say that first line needs to be removed from. I said, from the short story. I said, I'm done. I'm not going to screw it. I'm going to just delete the whole thing. And then immediately after, I had another reviewer say, no, keep it in. It is absolutely great. One single line, people. I couldn't imagine releasing the movie, and I understand how hurtful that would be and how tough.
Right.
So, and here's the thing. She's dealing with A Wrinkle in Time, which has a very strong fan. Well, I wouldn't say it's very well known because it was a mandatory reading in most schools. Not mine, but it was. A
rabid fan base, I think, is what you're looking for.
But it doesn't. I wanted to say it's known to audiences, but it's not a rabid fan base or a strong fan base. Something like comic books, like DC Comics, and something that's already been not polarizing is the word I'm looking for. Polarizing as the DCEU. And she's about to jump into this as her second science fiction movie. Something just as complicated. The New Gods are extremely complicated, and I want her to succeed because New Gods are great. Jack Kirby created most of them. I mean, that's where Darkseid came from. Even though he first appeared in a Jimmy Olsen comic, I think the New Gods in general first appeared in a Jimmy Olsen comic. But
it's a weird.
I mean, they're great.
Up.
They're insane. Yeah. Well, it was a weird time. The New Gods, I'm telling you, the New Gods are absolutely weird. They're just amazing and weird. It's a complicated thing to try to get across because they basically the Norse gods, even though I think they kind of came back, all the Norse, the Greek gods and stuff, were basically destroyed, and then these gods were reborn in their place. I think that's how it originally was. Don't quote me on that. So, however, some people are saying, well, you know what? She's actually come out and said months ago that her favorite character is Big Barda. Big Barda, even though I know her, and a lot of obviously a lot of comic book characters or comic book fans do, she's not as well known, and it's easy to pick out and be like, oh, my favorite superhero is Spider-Man. You know, something you can pluck out of the air.
Right.
Even Wonder Woman or Power Girl or Supergirl. You could just Big Barda. Who knows that? Who knows her? You know.
Right.
And so that kind of gives me a little hope that she is aware of the lore somewhat. So I'm hoping she can do good. But lady, if A Wrinkle in Time's slight criticisms are getting to you,
she'll get eaten up.
Just wait.
She'll get eaten
You're
up
going to be
in the
devoured.
DC universe. Holy crap.
You are going to be devoured. I feel so bad for you. I'm like seriously. Good luck, just for your own sanity, and stay off Twitter. Stay off. All celebrities, all directors need to stay off Twitter because, I mean, even somebody like, which kind of is a little segue to our next story. Rian Johnson, the guy that just released The Last Jedi, he cannot stay off Twitter. He cannot stay off of interviews. And it's become so bad. Like every week, it's like Rian Johnson explains why he made this stupid decision in The Last Jedi. It's like at this point, Mr. Johnson just released a podcast, an hourly, weekly podcast, because for the last 3 months you've had to explain every stupid decision that you've made with that movie. Just do it.
Yeah.
And that way you can explain to your heart's content. Well, I thought, even though Luke took on the entire galaxy, his beloved nephew, the only child in his family, I decided to kill him on a whim. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, I'm not even going into it.
Yeah.
But, hey, so good luck, Ava DeVavy.
Oh, my gosh.
That's not even that. That was awful.
Mitch, I missed it.
I apologize for that.
I missed another one. All right. I got to pull another picture while we're doing this one. So, Jon Favreau was hired to write the Star Wars TV show.
Yes.
Is that right?
I believe so. I hope so. That's what the words here say on this.
Yeah.
This whole picture box I got.
So Disney has turned to one of its favorite filmmakers, Jon Favreau, to produce and write a live-action Star Wars. Oh my gosh! Produce and write a Star Wars television series for its upcoming streaming service, which is the Star Wars show that we've heard about for so many years. I think ever since the most recent is ever since Disney bought Lucasfilm. And even before that, there were rumors that maybe for some odd reason George would have okayed a TV series as well. But those were stamped out.
Remember, one of the rumors was that they were going to have one on the CW. Remember with like Dawson's Creek and all that crap? So
yeah.
Just imagine like Dawson's Creek but set in the Star Wars universe. How awful would that be?
Yeah, right.
Because that's what, during that genre, or during that era, boys and girls, that's all what, One Tree Hill, Dawson's Creek, even Smallville was mostly that, but with superpowers until like the last few seasons.
Right. Yeah, I want it to be good. So I want it to succeed, and I hope he does. And this is a good thing because, like I said in the intro, it's kind of them rewarding him for what he's done. He's like one of the huge tentpoles for why MCU is so successful. If he would have never taken the creative license that he did with Iron Man, and which one did he do? Did he do Iron Man 2 or did he do he did Iron Man 2 as well?
He did Iron Man 1 and Iron Man 2.
Yeah, because Shane
Black
Black
did 3. So he's come back and acted as Hogan more. Thank goodness, because I love him as an actor as well.
Yeah, he's great. I was talking to my wife the other day. I says, I was telling her about this, and I was like, you like this guy? He was in that one movie that was about the guy that worked in a food cart and then decided to open a restaurant and had problems with criticism and stuff like that. It's actually really good. It was on Netflix. I'd have to look up what the name of it was while we're talking, but it was actually a pretty decent movie from the parts I saw.
I absolutely love him, Miss Happy Hogan. And
he's funny.
And he's so funny. And he's got this like short fuse type of thing, but instead of like busting out into a rage, he's just like gets snarkier and snarkier. Like it's like when he's that coworker that at 7 a.m. when you're like walking in, good morning, John. He's like, don't talk to me about a good morning. Traffic was like he's already pissed off. He comes to work and he's pissed off, but it's so hilarious listening to him rant that you don't mind that he's just complaining to you for like 30 minutes because it's hilarious.
So
but
the movie.
I love to. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. The movie was called Chef. It was 2014. He
Is it still on Netflix?
wrote, directed, and co-produced by Jon Favreau, who starred with Sofia Vergara, John Leguizamo, Scarlett Johansson, Oliver Platt, Bobby Cannavale, Dustin Hoffman, and Robert Downey Jr. Favreau plays a professional chef who, after a public altercation with a food critic, quits his job at a popular restaurant and returns to his hometown in Miami to fix up the food truck. So he goes the other way, my bad. Reconnects with his ex-wife and invites their young son to join him in driving the truck back to LA while selling Cubanos in various cities along the way. My wife really liked it, and the parts I saw were actually really, really good, and there were some good funny moments, some good emotional moments too. So it was an all-around good movie. I don't know if it's still on there. I'll check out Just Watch while we're continuing.
So anyway, so I really hope he does a good job. And again, I'm saying it again, but I really want Old Republic. I don't think they're going to go there, but I really want Republic stories. I really want to see a KOTOR show.
You can watch it with the Amazon Prime on Amazon right now.
Which one?
The Chef movie.
Oh, okay.
I highly recommend it, and I think I actually need to sit down and watch it. Let's see. Lucasfilm, the Disney-owned Star Wars studio, has long used television to expand its galactic storytelling, but all previous efforts have been animated except for the Star Wars Christmas special. That includes Star Wars Rebels, which began in 2014 and runs on the Disney XD cable network. Disney and Lucasfilm offered no additional details about the untitled project in its announcement on Thursday. Although Kathleen Kennedy, the president of Lucasfilm, noted in a statement that Mr. Favreau has a fluency with the Star Wars universe. Mr. Favreau, for instance, has a role as an actor in Solo, a Star Wars story. Why would she use that?
I don't know why.
And provided the voice for Mandalorian warrior Pre Vizsla in the now defunct Cartoon Network series Star Wars: The Clone Wars. Okay, so he did some voice acting. If you're in a couple of things, that doesn't make you highly fluent in a thing. His fandom probably speaks more to it, and Kathleen just doesn't know that. Though familiar to audiences from his acting, Mr. Favreau has found big success as a director. His credits for Walt Disney Studios include Iron Man, The Jungle Book, and the live-action version of The Lion King, which The Jungle Book was also a live-action version of The Jungle Book, so I don't know why it didn't have it on both of those. The Lion King, which is scheduled for next year's release. I think he can do a good job. Jon Favreau is a great mind. He's one of the good ones. So,
real quick, this is kind of just breaking news.
I don't like breaking news.
I'm sorry. Sega has had a Sonic the Hedgehog panel go, and it's undergoing. I guess it's going on right now at SXSW,
South by Southwest.
There you go. And they have announced a animated YouTube series for Sonic Mania Adventures.
Oh, please tell me they're going to get Jaleel White to do the voice again. Please.
I don't know if it's necessarily going to be even... Oh, okay. The episodes won't include any dialogue, but they will feature music from T. Lopez with an S, who composed the Sonic Mania soundtrack. The story picks up right after the events of Sonic Forces, with classic Sonic returning to the world of Mania.
So what you're telling me is it's going to be a music video with Sonic the Hedgehog characters in it.
Well, no. I mean, it could be like the silent cartoons, like Mickey Mouse and them, before they had real dialogue.
Nowadays, those are music videos.
I guess. But here's the thing. If you've seen the opening for Sonic Mania, the way it's animated, it looks incredible.
Okay.
And it brings back that... or Sonic CD. Remember the Sonic CD animated opening? It's basically that, but with the level of quality that you would expect from 2018 in animation. So it looks amazing. I highly recommend you go check out Sonic Mania's opening. They released some video on YouTube. the sneak peek video, and I'm just looking at still shots right now, and they look great. I absolutely love this. I mean, I've enjoyed Sonic throughout the years and the different art styles that he's been in, but the classic one got it in the first go. You know what I'm saying? Like he didn't necessarily need to be revised later on. And I've even learned to appreciate Sonic Boom's style, but mainly because of the cartoon, because it's actually funny and it makes fun of itself. If you've ever seen any of I recommend it. I mean, some of the animation, like their water animation, sucks, and their super speed animation sucks, but the dialogue is just absolutely on. It's hilarious.
Oppo has a soft spot for blue characters.
I do have apparently I do. I don't know exactly, but there's one instance in Sonic Boom where he's been trying to meditate to get past his anger issues, and so he's gone to like his happy place, and then he had to go to his happier place, and then his alarm goes off, so he wakes up from his happier place to his happy place. He wakes up in the real world, and then he wakes up again, and it's this dude in real life dressed as Sonic the Hedgehog taking out the garbage. He's like, "Oh, one too far," and it goes back to the CGI.
That's good. I'll give you that. Yeah. That's pretty good. All right. Last thing in the TV section, or the TV and movie section. Let's see if the picture actually popped in there. Nope, it didn't. I'll have to reopen it. It's fine. It's fine, everybody. We're all right. We're all right.
Technical issues. It's probably ISIS again.
No, it's not. It's not technical issues. I forgot to grab the last thing in the thing. All right.
That's right. It's the Russians.
It's the. Oh my god. All right. So the Avengers Infinity Wars trailer dropped today, but what was special about it was that Oppo was upset because they had a teaser for the trailer yesterday.
It's not like when they do a teaser trailer, which is like 30 seconds, and then like with some voice acting, and then they show like the title. It's like, tomorrow we're going to release a trailer. It's like 15 seconds. Why waste your time? Just make an announcement. Say, hey, by the way, there's going to be a trailer dropping tomorrow. Or not even announce it. It's a trailer drop.
Just drop the trailer.
I was getting people writing news articles. These websites were writing news articles on a 15-second announcement saying that there was a trailer going to be dropping tomorrow.
They like probably all said the same thing. It says, so-and-so dropped a 15-second teaser about the trailer coming tomorrow. The trailer, which will feature blah, 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 and blah, 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 which will cover blah, 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 and blah, 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 will be for the movie when it releases in blah, blah, blah. And it's like, that's a great article. Super clickbaity. This is why I don't like the internet anymore. Except you guys. We love you.
Yes, you guys are the best. So the Infinity trailer drops, and I watched it today. Did you watch it?
Yes. A bunch of the guys at work were very impressed with the way the outfits look. The Spider-Man suit looks great. Mm-hmm. The Iron Man Bleeding Edge costume looks great. Mm-hmm. So is that somebody said something about it? Is it nanobots? Is that what it is? Is that what the Bleeding Edge is? Okay, so
I don't know how they're going to do it in the movie. I think it's going to be nanobots because in the Black Panther they have nanomachines tech, and so I think what they've done is, and this is where they're going to incorporate some of Stark's tech with Shuri's tech or Wakandan tech together to make the Bleeding Edge. The Bleeding Edge in the comics was basically Extremis 2.0 or 3.0. Extremis was this modern day super soldier serum, which would give, not like in the movies where they caught on fire or whatever. It was dumb. It basically granted Stark a technopath abilities where like he could summon his armors and he could interface with technology easy. Like he wouldn't have to use a computer, a keyboard to interface. He could just like do it with his brain, stuff like that. Like enhance his healing abilities, like gave him a healing factor, and he was able to store certain levels of his suit within himself. So the Extremist started failing in his body, and he had to go to a new suit. So that was what the Bleeding Edge was, his upgraded version. I think I remember all that in the correct order. I don't think there was a version in between those. That was his new suit, and basically he could just how would they describe it? Basically, he could just summon it from like the molecular. Like it was trapped within his molecular structure, some insane thing, and he would just pop it out on top of himself.
That sounds cool.
But they're not going to be at that level yet in the movie. It doesn't look like.
What if that's the super upgrade for the part 2? Not that it's being called part 2, but it's after they get their butts kicked. Because listen, everybody knows that this movie's not going to end happy. Something's going to be left with a cliffhanger. It's going to be like the worst movie ever. Because it'll end like a TV series season ends with a big cliffhanger. And, but the next one comes out next year, right? Right? Yeah, so we'll get
here's the thing about it.
We'll get a finish to it. But
yeah. So here's the thing about it is that the first trailer they dropped was like still kind of goofy and fun. And this one was just really dark. Like the heroes were absolutely struggling. You get to see a lot of them beaten up in it. You know, like Thanos is just like casually pushing down on Captain America, and he's just struggling just to keep like 2 fingers off him. And Thanos is like, "Really, bro? Really? Come on, just let me just crush you."
Was it you that sent me a message saying you hope that it's just him playing with him and not them trumping up Cap's power?
Right. Well, people are complaining online about it. Some people have complained online. They're like, "Oh, well, that's just they're amping up Cap's strength again, and that's not the level Cap's at." I'm like, look at the video again. Thanos isn't even trying at that. Okay, that's like him doing a pinky or like thumping him or whatever you want to say, and Cap dodging it. That's the equivalent. It's like Thanos is like, remember, Thanos takes punches and gives punches to the Hulk.
Yeah.
That is a slight amount of pressure. That's basically like, you know when you're like with a little kid and like they're pushing against your hand and you're like, oh, you're so strong. And then you just push them back and put them in their place.
And crush
because
them.
You're the alpha male of the family and crush their spirit. No, you don't do that. You don't hurt kids. But no, that's basically what it is. It's that equivalent. Like, oh, well, he can put up a little bit of resistance, but I'm barely even trying. Like, come on, people.
The best part of that trailer was the end of the trailer after the credit roll, when it's Spider-Man and Doc Strange standing there.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, I'm Peter Parker," and he's like, "Doctor Strange." He says, "Oh, we're going by our silly names here.
Our made-up names."
Yeah. I'm Spider-Man. I think I'm so pleased. I still need to see Spider-Man: Homecoming, but even from the little bit, Stop, I can feel the hate. Even from the little bit that I've seen, I'm still amazed at how well he plays Spider-Man and Peter Parker. I still am a firm believer of the fact that Disney Marvel is in the good graces of some eternal entity that is ensuring that they have gotten the perfect storm of actors to fill out their stable. You have one of the greatest representations, almost to a T, of Captain America. You have the Tony Stark playing Tony Stark. I could go on, but you get the point.
Right.
The bad thing is that I don't know that everybody understands that, Vision doesn't have a good outlook in the future, and Doc Strange has got something. What's that?
So yeah, I said they probably sold the same. He's followed through for him, so way to go, Mr. the Devil. So yeah, Doc Strange has the Time Stone. If that's what you're asking, the Infinity Stone.
Yeah, that's which one he has. I know this.
Oh, okay. I thought you were asking.
No,
never mind.
I said Vision's outlook doesn't look good because of how he's alive, and Doc Strange has got one as well, which we all know he's probably not going to be able to hold on to. What did it look like? He had the purple and the blue in the gauntlet when he was crushing Cap, right?
I think so.
And not
so it looks like
the red and the yellow. Yeah, he only had 2 of them so far. But man, people need to go into this understanding that this is not going to end well to the first half. This is whether or not it is called Part 1 and Part 2 anymore, it is a Part 1 and Part 2. You are going to get your cliffhanger, terrible situation that your heroes are going to be put in, and you won't be able to find anything out for a year. Even though that film is already in the can, and they know what's going to happen, they're going to make us sweat for a year.
Yeah, so he's got the purple. He's got the purple and the blue in the gauntlet, and yeah, you got to look at these still shots. Like Cap's like I've got him pushing against the gauntlet. He's got like his pinky finger and his index. He's just pushing. Like the dude's veins are like sticking out. You see like the veins sticking out his head.
Mm-hmm.
Like no, this is not easy for Captain America. You know, Captain America struggled. Like the reason I don't know why people complain about this, but in hand-to-hand combat, he's almost unbeatable. So even with somebody like Iron Man face to face with him, Iron Man's not trained. Even though he can still lift 50 tons, he doesn't know how to use that suit's strength and hand-to-hand capabilities.
Right.
His two, like in the comics nowadays, he does, but he's still not on the level of Cap.
Right.
So people are saying, "Well, like Iron Man should have been able to one-shot it." No, not at all. Because just your average Joe throwing a punch versus somebody that knows how to take a punch, or blah 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 blah. There's a difference.
It's nice. This is the second Avengers movie in a row we'll get to see the Hulkbuster armor.
Yes, we do get to see the Hulkbuster.
That was in there too.
Yeah.
It did not look like it was in good shape either.
Oh no! Usually when that pops out, you're like, well, I'm not, because usually whenever a Buster armor comes out, it usually gets wrecked pretty quickly. Right. So so I was really surprised in Age of Ultron when it actually did good.
Yeah,
and that's because Bruce and Tony worked on it. So
yeah,
so it was a little different. But man, yeah, I mean, I was surprised it went down like that in the trailer.
Yeah,
it just got swarmed, and I mean, yeah, it's powerful, but I guess it is specifically designed to fight one powerful being.
Yeah, but
as opposed to a bunch of people at once.
Yeah, and not to mention, it's kind of like a Gulliver's Travel kind of situation where it's just toppled by smaller beings. The Star-Lord part was cute too.
Yeah.
How about if I make the plan because it'll be better and more fun? Yeah. And it's like, I mean, I hate Chris Pratt to the ends of the earth. He's so charming.
Why do you hate him?
He's so charming, and he's a good, wholesome person, and he makes the rest of us look like terrible human beings.
Oh, is that? He's just so much better than us. He's handsome.
Do you follow him on Facebook?
I don't think I follow him on Facebook.
He's always posting about crap that happens on his farm.
Oh.
He birthed, I think, a new sheep the other couple of weeks ago. I was showing one of the guys at work. I was like, "Look at this douchebag, man! What a piece of crap!"
Look at this douchebag caring about others. Well, we know we're terrible people. That's why we criticize people.
Look, he ends his marriage amicably with his ex-wife, and they share the kid with no problem. They're good friends, and it's like, come on, this is a storybook ending here. All right, next what? No, not next month. Yeah, next month. The end of next month. I forgot they moved it up. April 27th. Yeah,
I'm probably going to go see this in theaters by myself.
I told Christopher, I says, we're going to see it. My son, I said, we're going to see that. He sent me a message about Ready Player One. He's like, it's coming out soon, Dad. I was like, we are going to see that movie. So, Kay, if you're listening...
Have you read the book yet? Have you finished it?
So, here's the funny story. I think I know what happened with my book, and I keep forgetting to ask Josh about it, but there was some transactions of things being sent back and forth between myself and Josh. And I think I sent the book to hold an envelope in it and said, here, read this. So I think he has my copy of Ready Player One. So I need to, and I know where I'm at. I remember where I'm at. I need to find a copy of it or have him send it back eventually.
So with Ready Player One, it seems like they're going with a lot more movie references than the books had.
You mean other movie references other than Spielberg? Because Spielberg says he doesn't want to reference his own work because he feels it's cheap. Which sucks.
But you can understand that. It's weird. It would be creepy, wouldn't it?
I guess.
Not necessarily creepy, but egotistical.
Really though? I mean, that was like that for Ernest Cline to land director Steven Spielberg as the keeper of the cinematic version of his memoirs of his geekdom, and for him to be the part of it. I mean,
yeah, and that's the thing. If Spielberg's had lately, he hasn't had necessarily a good track record, but his 80s, 90s, and early 2000s, his 80s and 90s alone just stone. His 80s or 70s, I should say, 70s and 80s. That's what Jaws was.
Yeah.
I would have told him, listen, man, you have to make one reference, and it has to be to Jaws somehow. Okay.
We're gonna need a bigger boat. There it is.
There you go. you're going to need a bigger boat or have somebody launch a massive shark at somebody during one of the big battles.
There you go.
That's
Perfect.
all you got to do, dude. Because there's tons of shark movies out there, but everybody's going to know that was Jaws.
Yeah, right.
You know. I would have, like, if they said, yeah, we want the rights to this, we're looking for Spielberg to do it, I'd be like, okay, put this in the contract. He's contractually obligated to reference Jaws, or I'm walking. I'm taking my book and I'm walking.
All right, let's play your other favorite blue characters' little music here, and then we'll do the last bit here.
All right.
He has a problem, people. Blue
I
characters.
have many problems, people.
He's a huge fan of Hatsune Miku as well. All right.
Can't help it. She's a good dancer.
Spyro the Dragon: The Treasure Trilogy is announced, coming to the Nintendo Switch and others in 2018. That is this year.
That is this year. Isn't that exciting? And they're going to remaster it. And
were they that good? He looks like Figment, number one. He looks like Figment. I never really got into the Spyro games. My son likes him for the Skylander stuff, but
right,
which is neat because the first one was Skylander Spyro's Adventure, right? Wasn't that the title of the first?
It's not a new Spyro. It's the remake.
Yeah, I know.
Fleabiter 94 said it on our chat.
Oh, Fleabiter 94.
Yeah, he knows who I'm talking about. So I guess I'm assuming this is the original PS1 trilogy with Nasty Nork and all that. I think for the most part, the controls haven't aged that well, but overall the games are still fun to play. They're simple to pick up. Even my wife can play them.
But you said something about the controls. The controls aren't any different than they were on the PlayStation. Especially if they re-release them on the PlayStation. it's the same damn controller, basically.
No, I'm saying the controls themselves, not the response time, the lag, blah 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 blah.
Okay.
That kind of stuff. His flying was a little stiff and stuff like that, and because he is a four-legged animal as opposed to a two-legged creature, some of his turning, especially when sprinting, was a little awkward. That being said, it's still a fun game. Spyro is a character with a lot of personality. The Skylanders, I don't play the Skylanders games. One, because I think they're more or less being discontinued at this point, or is it still going on? Like everywhere I go, the toys are on massive sale. It's been
rolled into the Skylanders stuff, so
yeah. So Spyro's gone into the Skylanders stuff, and I don't necessarily like the Skylander games and stuff because they're in their way they're pay to win because you have to go buy the specific character to get over this specific ledge.
It is like an amped up microtransaction machine is what it is.
It absolutely is.
Way to go, Activision. Way to be sneakier than EA on their microtransactions. Hey, look, but you get this cool figure.
Yeah.
Agrees the guy who has all his freaking amiibos still stuck in a package dying because they can't breathe.
But the thing is, I don't need those to be the game.
You don't, but they're cool. They're fun.
They are cool. And they're cool in their packages. Tell Nintendo to put them in boxes like any sane individual would, and I would open them up, and I would put them on the thing, I'd scan it in, then I'd put them back in the box, and I'd put them back on the shelf.
But no, they want to keep it the blister packs like the classics.
They want to, and so then I tear it apart. Even if I try to slice it a little bit to like slowly and gently peel it open, no, it's not the same, and I hate that. That being said, I do like the Skylanders animated shows. It's pretty funny, again for a kids' cartoon. They'd still do the whole like morals thing, like, hey, you got to learn to work together and stuff like that. But
yeah,
they bring back one. They have one of my favorite voice actors, Richard.
Patrick Warburton. It's Patrick Warburton.
Is he in that one?
In what?
The Skylanders.
Yeah, he plays the pilot, Patrick Warburton.
Oh, he plays the Eagle guy?
Yeah, the pilot. The one that flies the freaking airship and stuff.
They all kind of have their own vehicles, I thought.
Hold on.
So I didn't know he played the Eagle. I'm talking about Richard Horvitz, the guy that does Chaos. I love him as Daggett in Invader Zim.
Patrick Warburton plays Flynn in Skylanders. He's the cat-looking guy with goggles on his head. and a flight
Oh,
jacket.
I don't remember seeing him.
Yeah, he's prominently featured in them.
And
Like he's
this
like the first
cartoon?
voice. Oh, in the cartoon? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't
Oh,
know
my
about the
bad.
game. Yeah, I'm talking about the cartoon.
Oh, okay. Anyways, where were you at? Did you forget?
So I was just talking about Skylanders Academy. I think it's got some
Oh,
characters in
that's
there that
right.
I really do.
That's
Um,
what's gonna. That needs to be successful. Everybody needs to go watch that, so that Blizzard will be like, oh, well, we'll use Activision Studio to put out all the Overwatch cartoons and the Heroes of the Storm stuff that they could
the
do.
World
And
of Warcraft cartoons,
oh, and the World of
an
Warcraft
animated World of
cartoons.
Warcraft. That's what I want. I want that. It should be against the law to have trailers as good as like Battle of Azeroth or whatever just came out, and the Mist of Pandaria, and crap like that. That
Have you
pisses me off, and not have a good cartoon with it.
have
Or
you
movie.
seen the things people have done with the Warcraft engine, the World of Warcraft engine, where they've taken like the books and done like a story time thing with voice acting and everything for the stories,
I
like
haven't seen
the World Tree events and stuff like that.
I
Yeah,
have not seen that.
I'll have to find them
I
for
would
you.
need to look. If they're on YouTube, I'll absolutely check
Yeah,
them out.
yeah, they're on YouTube. They're like hours long too.
I will absolutely check that out because I do love to watch animations that people do, even though those are a little more tiny than what you're talking about.
Yeah,
But still, it's just here that like the people's creativity, like the fans' creativity. This is why I don't understand like when people like Nintendo hits people with cease and desist for free stuff like this. It's like they're absolutely idolizing your stuff. Blizzard seems to be embracing it for the most part.
oh yeah, they're one of my favorite machinimas that I've ever seen
Mm-hmm.
is called Blind, and it is about uh, a blood elf rogue that sneaks into Stormwind to assassinate Onyxia, which they don't know is Onyxia until she goes all dragony, but she can see that she is. She's Lady. What's her name? I can't remember what her name is in human form. But anyways, yeah, she sneaks in to try and assassinate the human form of Onyxia, and it's actually really good. Has a good, I want to say either K-pop or J-pop song that goes with it too, and it's really good. It's really well done. They handled the engine really well and used what they could for it. But there's like pages and pages of people that have done machinima with the Warcraft engine. And there are plenty of the ones, like I said, with the stories that tell the history of like the world tree and stuff like that. So, anyways, let's get to the important news. The only thing that anybody ever cares about from last week, and that is this wonderful image right here. Let me zoom in on that eye right there. You see what that is? Mitch, you want to tell the people?
It's Killer Queen in the eye.
Killer
Bites
Queen.
the dust though. From
Bites the
JoJo.
dust.
Come on.
Nope.
What is it?
So they announced, finally, out of the last thing that they announced out of the Nintendo Direct, they finally announced Super Smash Bros. On the Nintendo Switch. So we are getting a new Smash Bros. Game on the new system, finally.
My favorite thing is like the last one that came out was that everybody was getting all these sweet envelopes and it's all adorable. And this one is like Oblivion is occurring.
Right.
It's like, and the poor squidlings are like terrified.
It's hilarious because Lady Katrana Prestor. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's Onyxia's human form. Anyways, so the squidlings. It starts out with the squidlings fighting. They're shooting each other up with their inks, and then all of a sudden this bright light flashes, and you can just see it reflecting off of their skin, and then they zoom in on her eye, and you see that it's the Smash Brothers logo. And then it goes across and looks below the Smash Brothers logo, and you can see the crowd of all the characters standing below it. And
it was cool.
It was a really, really cool feature for not showing everybody, but just showing and displaying that set and getting a look at what I think we've agreed is Breath of the Wild Link, and which is cool. Model change is always cool every now and then. And then what was the other one? You thought it might have been Baby Mario, but it also might have been what's her face from Earthbound, was it? Or Ness?
Yeah, I mean, it could be Ness. So I bet you they're going to have the Super Mario Odyssey version of Mario. So expect his attacks to change with his cap.
That would
So
be.
I'm thinking.
That would
I'm
be
thinking
cool.
more cap attacks. Let's see who we got. And by the way, let me just say that Smash Bros. Has the best like trailer animation. It's like the equivalent to Blizzard for me. Because that squidling fight was so cool, like them moving so fast.
Yeah, it was really
it's
neat.
like I wish, and I love the gameplay of Splatoon. Don't get me wrong. I wish it was like that hectic looking.
Yeah.
So let's see. Yeah, that's absolutely. Geez, I wish. So we've absolutely got Bowser in there. I don't know. I don't know who that could have been. I'm absolutely drawing a blank on what I said the other day. Oh, but maybe I did say the Baby Mario. That would be a cool addition.
You did, yeah. You did say Baby Mario at one point, but I think going back and forth with, I think Jay Dickens or somebody else, you were talking about it, that it might be Ness as well, or not Ness. Yeah, Ness is a kid though, right? Not a baby.
Yes. Well, he's like 8 or 10.
So then, Baby Ness or something like that, or was that?
Well, not necessarily Baby Ness, but
okay.
Let's see. I mean, we've done Ness and Lucas.
Yeah, they're both in the last one.
Yeah, so I think there's a girl still that they could rotate out from that.
So there's also a minifigure going or an amiibo going around that's actually announced as an official for Dark Souls, which is the Solare.
The Praise the Sun one.
The Praise the Sun one. But people are thinking that might actually be a Smash Brothers one, though. He'd fit.
That'd be kind of dark for Smash Brothers.
Yeah, I know it would. Well, no, because he praises the sun.
Yeah. I would like to see. I feel like there's a recent game besides just Splatoon that was released that would have been a good inclusion. I can't remember, but I'm absolutely pumped, and I hope they do like the same trailers like they did the previous one. Like the Mega Man trailer was cool. I love that one.
My kids still run around the house yelling Mega Man like the announcer does.
I really hope that, like, if they decide to do okay, so let's just throw this out there. If you do another vote for your favorite character,
oh, that thing,
limit it to the characters that you can have access to. Don't say put whatever character you want in there.
And yeah, because which one won that they could not get a hold of?
I mean, there was a ton of them. Oh. They were like Bayonetta was not the top one. They were like. Basically, it was like, oh, well, all these other characters won. They were higher than Bayonetta, but we have access to Bayonetta easy, so let's just get her. Even though any company out there would have dropped to their knees and licked your shoes to put their character in Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
They got Solid Snake in there. You don't think the company WayForward or whoever that owns Shantae would have thrown Shantae in there? And she would have fit personality-wise and move-wise.
That's getting released this month on the Switch, by the way.
Yes, and that's a good game. I recommend it. I really enjoy the Shantae series.
All right.
But you don't think Rare and Microsoft wouldn't have totally jumped to have Banjo-Kazooie in there?
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely. It's free PR for them, for one thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know. So... Maybe we'll get a Banjo-Kazooie in there, but that's all I got for that.
Before we wrap this up, the last thing is there was a message dropped for March 20th. They're going to do an Indies highlight video to highlight all the indie games that are coming to the Switch in the next couple of months, I guess.
Oh, that's right. They did announce Undertale.
Well, there's Undertale, but they announced that during the big trailer.
Yeah,
I think this is going to be some other stuff, like maybe. So, I kind of want Darkest Dungeon on my Switch. Darkest Dungeon is getting an expansion soon, or a DLC, which I'd gladly pay for. That game is amazing.
Yeah, I really need to get back into it. And did you ever finish
it? We should do it. We should do a stream one day with that, because I've not finished it. I'd be willing to start over again, honestly, but I have.
I'd probably have to. Yeah.
I have a problem. I still need to get the. Well, they have on the Switch eShop. They have I can't remember if it's called the Ancient Edition or something like that. It has the game and the 2 DLCs currently. One of them's the Court of Night or whatever it's called, the vampire thing, and then there's the one where they added another class or something like that. But for a simplistic, and it's kind of one of those nostalgic type titles because it's a party fighter, and that's one of those things that we grew up with. And they do it so well with the animation being great. Even the tilting of the combat to show which side's actually attacking is really attractive, and it looks good. And I'm sure it looks great on that small screen when you're traveling. I wish I didn't drive all the time. So, all right, let's wrap it up and get out of here. Got things to do, people to see. Thanks for everybody that showed up today. We greatly appreciate your support here in the show. When you pop in there live and say great things to contribute to the show.
Or derail us.
Please leave us feedback on our show wherever you get it from. iTunes, Google Play Music Store, stuff like that. And don't forget to check out our Patreon page at patreon.com/StasisGeek. We greatly appreciate any help to help placate the costs of things like the URL, our domain payments due here soon, and the monthly cost for the pages to put up the podcast. And
and look at it, we can't even afford razors anymore. Look at us.
Yeah, right.
We look like the wild man of Borneo.
Yeah, right. I need a haircut.
That's an old reference. Yeah, you got to shave your head. Okay, he's shaving his head. We decided that.
There goes. All right, go ahead and do your part.
Yep. Hey, if you want to contact us, you can contact us at ECG_podcast on Twitter, at our Facebook page, www.facebook.com/ECGpodcast, or our email address at ecgpodcast@gmail.com. Also visit our webpage, www.stasisgeek.com. That's STASISGEEK.com. Or post a comment on this video or a review online wherever you download this. I don't know if we said that.
Yes.
We will read this stuff. We will totally read this stuff. We read all the time. We know all the words like unctuous and punctuation and flabbergasted. We know all these words.
Professionalism.
We're wordologists. Professionalism. Well,
that's loose terminology of professionalism.
Yeah.
All right. Until the next time we are here, there may or may not be a show next week. We'll try and squeeze one in. I've got some traveling to do. Until then, stay geeky.